Morning, all. All right, so a lot of news for today because there was some yesterday, and I thought, I'm watching all the games. I'll watch all the games. I'll do all the reviews, and I'll do the news in the morning. So there's been some more news today to add to yesterday's. This came out last night, so this was the first item on the board. Travis Hamonic will be wearing one of these. He is on a tryout with the Vancouver Canucks, and the one thing with the Canucks. I'm fine with the forward depth. I think that their tandem and net will be fine. There was a depth concern I had with their blue line, and I know there's going to be people who look at this and say, well, it shows they don't have faith in the kids. That's not what it shows, though. It just shows that they don't have to have one of the kids play. You don't want to leave your team exposed so that if the kids aren't ready, that you're in more trouble later. So you're better to have those veterans there. That if you need to waive him at some point, fine. But all odds are that Hamonic's going to be in the top six. And we'll see how that goes for the Canucks. And it adds a little bit of depth. I don't have a problem with any kind of added depth. Mikey Anderson. So this is a good story. Mikey Anderson apparently has already earned a roster spot with the Kings. When Mikey came up last year, they talked a lot about his family and the support he's had along the way. And honestly, I like Anderson's story, and I hope he becomes an everyday player for the Kings. And apparently, he's already halfway there. One of the interesting pieces of news from yesterday too was that Florida is leaving Borgstrom in Europe. Borgstrom won't be coming over. And there are some other players, too, who are being left in Europe for the rest of the season there. And then we'll see if when those seasons in Europe are done, if they come over and play in the NHL or what happens. But Borgstrom is amongst those who are going to be left in Europe. Yannick Weber proves a point for me with a professional tryout with Nashville. They have to have a Weber on the blue line. As soon as Shea Weber was traded out, they signed Yannick Weber as a UFA. They have to have a guy named Weber on the blue line. And maybe they just realized, hey, we don't have a Weber. We'll bring Yannick back on a tryout. So hopefully he makes it. I like Yannick as a depth guy. I think he's been fine for Nashville. And this came out yesterday, too. The Buffalo Sabres, Victor Olofsson. Well, Olofsson got injured at practice. And I've got Sunday there, but it wasn't Sunday. So I'll just take that out. Very technical. Olofsson was injured at practice. That was Friday that he got injured, and he's day to day. They've said he's day to day with an upper body injury. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's just day to day. I know last year we saw a lot of injuries that were just day to day, and then like after a week we'd be like, so is it more than day to day yet? Because it's been a week. Gotta love it when the NHL's coming back and day to day. Okay, all right, cool. And keep in mind that today is the day. Today is the day that all training camps open. So this is when the rubber meets the road. All 31 teams on the ice. It's an exciting time. And keep in mind, this is the first time that's been the case in about 10 months. It's been 10 months since all 31 teams were getting geared up to play. So It is kind of a big deal that today is the opening of training camp for everybody. And 7 teams, of course, had the 3-day head start, which some don't feel was enough, but there was only so much the NHL had to work with. All training camps are open. Now, this morning, it was announced that John Marino has signed a 6-year extension with the Pittsburgh Penguins. It's for $26.4 million altogether. And there's a great variance in the amount of money he's going to make. And it goes up throughout the extent of the contract, and it kicks in next season. So Marino, one of the under-the-radar rookies for the Pittsburgh Penguins, had an excellent season. And so looking forward to seeing what Marino does this year for the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think he's going to end up being their best defenseman, I'll say, within the next couple of years. Marino signs that contract, and that could end up looking like a bargain if he continues to jump up their depth chart and start getting some heads turned around the league. So I think he can. Martin Jones. So the last couple of years, one thing I kept an eye on was Martin Jones and his save percentage. And Jones's save percentage, he was struggling to get it over 900. There were times during the last 2 years where he would get it above 900, and then it would drop below again. And Jones says that he feels that this break, this 10 months off, helps him. I guarantee you the Sharks feel the same way. They hope that it helps him too. And so we'll see whether or not some of these teams that have been off for about 10 months start better than we might expect. They haven't played any games in a very long time. An extremely long break. So we'll see whether or not Jones can have that bounce back year. If he and Dubnyk can both have bounce back seasons, San Jose could surprise some people. Speaking of good news, Steven Stamkos is saying he's 100% as the Tampa Bay Lightning get set for camp. He's 100%. He's good to go. No worries, which is important because, of course, Stamkos has struggled to stay healthy. And so if he is healthy, that's just tremendous news for Tampa fans, the Tampa Bay Lightning, especially considering they're going to be without Kucherov for the season. So they kind of need Stamkos to be 100% and to be able to play. So it's all good news at that. Speaking of good news as well, Jared Spurgeon has been announced the captain for the Minnesota Wild. Kudos to Jared Spurgeon. And Wild fans will tell you, advanced stats guys will tell you, he's the rightful captain. And they'll tell you quickly, and they'll tell you often. And so Spurgeon now has a chance to cement himself as one of the better defensemen. And it's interesting because, I don't know, if I was asked who was going to be captain, I would have thought maybe Zuccarello gets, maybe Parise. But yeah. Spurgeon's a good pick, and we'll see how things go for Minnesota this year as well. Minnesota's made some interesting changes in their goal, and we'll see whether or not their goaltending is able to hold up over this compressed 56-game schedule that we're about to enter into in 10 days. We are 10 days out from the National Hockey League coming back. And Ottawa announces 3 alternate captains for this year. So basically auditioning to see who the big captain's going to be. So Brady Tkachuk, Thomas Chabot, and Eric Branson will be acting as alternate captains. DJ Smith also came out and basically admitted there's not going to be a lot of veterans on this team. It's going to be a very young team. But Chabot, I think, is going to end up being the captain. I mean, it could be him or Brady, and I'm sure they'll look at the results this year and feedback from the coach before they make that decision. I would think next year they announce their captain. Of course, Vegas is supposed to announce their captain. Detroit is still rumored to be looking at Larkin as captain, just not making it official yet. And we'll see who ends up being captain of Ottawa. I do waver back and forth between Tkachuk and Chabot, so they just kick that can down the road for at least a season. And we'll see how it goes. So there you go. A lot of teams, a lot of news. And I expect there to be a lot more. There are no hockey games today. The semifinals are tomorrow, where we will see the Russians playing against Canada. That's going to be fantastic. And we got the U.S. against Finland. Also fantastic. And I look forward to watching and reviewing those. It was fun yesterday watching hockey, doing reviews, and kind of the old-fashioned way of doing things. And you know, it's good to have hockey back again. So there you go. 10 days out. The NHL getting itself ready, and we as fans getting ready to consume the product. So going to be an interesting 2021. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just tapping upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.